Greetings, Strang Middle School. My name is David Flood. I am a youth motivational speaker, and I know none of you know me, but I was there before you were all there, when you were all in elementary school. I spoke at Strang Middle School several years ago, even before the 8th graders got there. I think it might have been 2015 or 16. But I've stayed in touch with Mrs. Golio there, and she asked me if I would be so kind as to send out a nice encouraging video to you guys and girls. So I introduced myself. What I do is I speak in middle schools and high schools, guys and girls, all over the country on dignity, respect, and compassion, and drug and alcohol awareness and prevention. I have a son named Justin who has autism. You know what I'll do is I think in this, I'm going to send Mrs. Strang 2 videos so you can watch. Maybe she'll show you the first video of me so you can learn a little bit more about me, and then you can watch this video, which is current. But she felt as though, and I'm sure the administrators and teachers there too at Strang, which, by the way, I had a great time at. I love coming to upstate to New York schools because I live on Long Island. Just so you know, I live in New York State, but I love coming to schools in New York State. When I speak in schools, guys and girls, I talk a lot about, I give challenges. I talk, give kids 3 challenges. The first one is to look on the inside of people and realize that we're all alike on the inside. And this pandemic absolutely proves that, right? I'm just like the next person. I'm just as susceptible. My family's just like, just as vulnerable as another family. And when you acknowledge that we're all alike on the inside, it enables you to have compassion and empathy and understanding of someone else because you're just like them. So how could you not understand them and what they're going through? So the second challenge that I give in schools is to stay connected to adults in the building, especially the teachers. And now more than ever, guys and girls, I guarantee that none, if any, of you teachers had taught remotely before. So what does that mean? Well, they used to be able to separate their home life and their school life, right? They could prep when they're at school, right? But now everything's at home. And they might have a spouse at home. They might have pets at home. They might have kids who are your age or younger or older. Kids who are even preschool age that they have to take care of, feed, and keep entertained, obviously, keep occupied. Or kids that are your age or older that they have to navigate and connect them with their teachers to teach them. And I guarantee that most of the teachers, although I'm sure they'd want to have this, don't have a room in their house they can lock themselves in to teach you guys. So please, my message is please be understanding of the teachers and stay connected to them, as connected as possible to them. Because don't you want to be the person who, when you get back to school, and I don't know if it'll be this year or if it'll be in September, but don't you want to be the person that the teacher looks at when you get back to school and says, thank you for showing up. Thank you for being present. Thank you for always being on time to class. Thank you for handing your assignments in on time. To make their job simpler and easier, because what they do is super, super hard. So stay connected to the adults in the building and be somebody who shows up virtually, online, not in person, right? And the third challenge I give is that no one eats alone. I'm big, that's like the most important thing. When you see the videos about my son Justin, you'll understand why that's so important for me. But I know you can't eat with someone now, but what you can do is please, 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 guys and girls, think of the kids that are isolated when you're in school, and now think of how doubly isolated they are because they have no brothers and sisters. Maybe it's just them or their mom and them and their dad, or they're in a foster home, or step parents, or they stay with their grandparents or whatever. They're just lonely and more isolated even now than for the time that they were in school. I'm imploring you to think of someone like that and reach out to them. Text, email, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram. I don't care how you communicate. Please reach out to them because, people are getting sick and dying from this virus. Let's not lose anyone because of sadness, loneliness, depression, and isolation. Those things we can easily prevent through a phone call, a text, a video, a little note. I had a teacher about a week and a half ago send me an email. She said, Mr. Flood, I teach hearing impaired students. I teach deaf kids, and I'm having a really difficult time keeping them occupied on the computer, typing back and forth. And I said to her, when was the last time you think any of your students got a handwritten letter in the mail? And she said, "Oh my God, I never even thought of that." And I know it might not sound like a big deal, but I know when I get a letter, and I don't even know if any of you guys have ever even written a letter, with technology now, put a pen to paper and send somebody a note or a card. Get a piece of loose leaf and an envelope and a stamp and write someone a letter. And to your teachers, but especially to kids who are isolated, I think that's a simple thing to do. Wouldn't you want that? Wouldn't you want someone to do that for you? And the last two things I want to talk about is, one, when I'm struggling with things, what I do to get through. When I'm struggling or down or not structured, all this unstructured time that we have now, what helps me a lot is to make a list of things that I have to do. And they could be as simple as empty the dishwasher, feed the dog, walk the dog, make a phone call, send out an email, read, empty whatever it might be. And at the end of the day, when I've crossed things off those lists, it makes me feel better. I have a small sense of accomplishment. Maybe I put 9 things on the list and I do 5. Maybe I do all 9. Maybe I do 3. But it just gives me a small sense of accomplishment. So if you're feeling, there's a saying, some of you might have heard this, I don't think so, but if you're listless, means like if you're down or blah, make a list of things to do, and then you cross them off and you have a sense of accomplishment. And the last thing I want to say to you guys and girls, and I don't think you're too young to hear this, is how are you going to come out of this isolation time? Because you can come out of this a better person than you were before it started. Not better than anyone else, but a better version of yourself, because you have all this time to work on self-improvement. You can read more. You can watch educational shows. You can grow closer to your family. You can even get closer to your friends and people that you weren't friends with now because you have more time. There's nothing else to do. You're not going to sports or soccer or dance or ice skating, or all the different things you're doing. You have all this time to connect with people, right? So can you will you come out of this a better person? Again, not better than anyone else, but a better version of yourself. I hope you're all well. Please filter the information that you take in through your families. It's good to have information, but filter what you take in through your moms and dads and your families and an older relative or a teacher or a counselor. Just be careful how much news you watch. And lastly, I hope, Mrs. Golio, she'll have me back to Strang. 8th graders, you'll probably move on before I come there. And I hope you have some kind of celebration at the end of the year. I really, really do. I hope that for you. I know it's really hard for seniors and, 12th graders and seniors in college too that might not have a graduation. But I hope that you do have some kind of celebration to celebrate your accomplishments of middle school. And I hope I run into you guys in a Starbucks or a Panera or a Dunkin' Donuts or somewhere in upstate, downstate New York when this is all over, and we can laugh and joke around about what an interesting time this was. Have a great day, Strang Middle School. Hopefully I'll see you guys one day, and be well. Take care of someone else. Reach out to someone else. Have a good day, guys.